Former Representative Beto O'Rourke said Monday that he's running to become governor of Texas, aiming to become the first Democrat to hold the seat since the 1990s. In a video announcing his decision, O'Rourke begins by discussing the failure of the state's power grid in February and the response from the state government, saying those who lost their power, heat and water, were abandoned by those who were elected to serve and look out for them. It's a symptom of a much larger problem that we haven't. When the electricity grid failed and those in power failed all of us, it was the people of Texas who were willing to put their differences behind them and do the work doing the job at hand, which meant helping our fellow Texans get through that crisis, O'Rourke continued. We did this out of a sense of duty and responsibility to one another. Now imagine if the governor of Texas. He also cited the Texas Republican Party's positions on education, abortion and guns, as well as his desire to expand Medicaid coverage and legalize marijuana, as part of his reason for running. He immediately becomes a heavy favorite in the Democratic primary to challenge two-term Republican incumbent Governor Greg. The last thing Texans need is President Biden's radical liberal agenda coming to Texas under the guise of Beto O'Rourke, Abbott campaign spokesperson Mark Miner said in a statement. The contrast for the direction of Texas could. After representing the El Paso area in the U.S. House, O'Rourke rose to prominence during the 2018 midterms when he challenged Republican incumbent Ted Cruz in the Senate race. O'Rourke built up a grassroots campaign network within the state and a massive nationwide fundraising effort, but ultimately, O'Rourke lost by fewer than 2 percentage points, the closest Senate race in the state in 4 decades. With his help, Democrats picked up a number of local, state and federal offices in Texas that November. Texas's last Democratic governor, Ann Richards, was elected in 1990 but lost her re-election bid 4 years later to future President George W. Bush. No Democrat has won statewide in Texas since 1994, and it's voted Republican in every presidential race since 1980, despite perennial hopes among Democrats to flip. While many Democrats hoped O'Rourke would mount another Senate race in 2020 against Republican Senator John Cornyn, he instead opted for a run at the Democratic presidential nomination. Despite a launch that included a Vanity Fair cover story and early fundraising success, the campaign failed to gain traction, and he withdrew after a mass shooting in his native El Paso in August 2019. O'Rourke called for increased gun safety regulations, including proposing a mandatory buyback program for assault weapons. In a September 2019 speech at Texas Southern University, O'Rourke said, "Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK." A poll released earlier this month by the University of Texas and the Texas Tribune found Abbott with a 9-point lead over O'Rourke, with 10% of respondents saying they had no opinion. A September survey from Quinnipiac University found Abbott's approval rating underwater and 51% of respondents saying he did not deserve. A former state attorney general, Abbott won re-election by 13 points in 2018. O'Rourke faces a difficult political environment. In the 2020 election, Republicans made gains among the state's Latino voters as President Donald Trump won the state by 6 points. President Joe Biden's approval rating is worse than Abbott's in the state, with a recent poll finding him to have 35% approval versus 55%. Meanwhile, actor Matthew McConaughey has said he is weighing a run for governor. The Texas native and Oscar winner describes himself as an aggressive centrist, who would run as an independent.